Hey everybody, Little Drummer Boy here. Hope you're doing well. Today I am going to do top 10 beaches. These, I can't say I've been to all the beaches in the world. I doubt anybody has. I would love to travel to all of them. Um, but these are my top 10 beaches that I've been to. Out of the ones I've been to, these are my favorites. So here we go. First of all, Pensacola, Florida. All the way, well, from Pensacola to Gulf Shores, Alabama. I mean, oh my goodness, it is just snow white sand. The Gulf is turquoise. You can swim over your head, and it's like you're in a pool. You can see the bottom like you're in the Bahamas or something. And it's the Gulf is turquoise. I mean, there's even a white sandbar out at Pensacola Beach, about a quarter mile off the beach that my brother and me swam to. And I mean, you can see the sandbar from the beach. It's like it's so white and the water's so clear. I mean, really probably the most beautiful place I've ever been. And I have traveled a lot. I've driven trucks and I've been to 38 states and 4 countries. And yeah, I've Pensacola Beach, probably the most beautiful place I've ever been. But take your sunglasses. The snow white sand is blinding in the snow. And also guard your eyes, cause at least when I was there, they let the ladies wear thong bikinis. Okay, so if you have a lust problem, don't go to Pensacola Beach. Anyway, okay, and Gulf Shores, Alabama, just as beautiful. Same type. That whole part of the Gulf Coast there. Gulf Shores is just over the line from Pensacola Beach and Orange and Gulf Breeze, and it's just gorgeous down there. Next, Ocracoke. Second, Ocracoke and all the North Carolina Outer Banks. Ocracoke is just a beautiful island. You have to take a ferry to get to. It's on the North Carolina. It's on the Cape Hatteras National Seashore, which is 80 miles long, 80 miles of sandbars, a mile wide and 80 miles long. And you can't see the land on either side. You've got the ocean on one side and Roanoke Sound, and then Pamlico Sound on the other side. And it's just beautiful there. Tons of history. The Wright brothers flew the first plane there. Blackbeard the pirate was killed there by the Royal Navy at Ocracoke in 1718. Just tons of history. 1,500 shipwrecks because of the shoals. And along with that, that's why they have the lighthouses. Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, Bodie Island Lighthouse, Ocracoke Lighthouse, Cape Lookout Lighthouse. So yeah, North Carolina Outer Banks is awesome. So go check it out for sure, especially Ocracoke. Oh, and on the Cape Hatteras National Seashore on Hatteras Island, you've got 80 miles of deserted beach where there's nobody there, except for maybe the wild ponies that descended from the Spanish shipwrecks. But anyway, yeah, you can go. On the ferry to Ocracoke, I saw a woman. Topless fishing, surf fishing topless. I mean, you can go find your own beach there on the Outer Banks and go butt naked and chances. And I wouldn't suggest parking your car close to where you're at, but I mean, y'all, if you want a beach to yourself, Cape Hatteras National Seashore is it. All right. Charleston, South Carolina, and its beaches. Beautiful and historic Charleston. 300 years old. Every house on the waterfront looks like the flippin' White House. These gorgeous 3-story houses with the big columns. Charleston has so much history. Blackbeard barricaded the harbor and took a ship bound for England hostage until his men got venereal disease medication, and then they went into town in Charleston on a drunk, and he's holding this ship to England hostage the whole time while his men's supposed to be getting medication, but they're actually in Charleston getting drunk. And Stede Bonnet, the gentleman pirate, was hung in Charleston in 1718 after being caught off of Cape Fear by the Royal Navy near Wilmington, North Carolina. And so yeah, and the beaches at Charleston, you've got Folly Beach. If you want the party beach, a fun beach where there's action, Folly Beach, that's Charleston's like party beach, right? If you want more laid back, go to Sullivan's Island. Sullivan's Island is over on the other side of the mouth of the harbor at Charleston, right across from Fort Sumter, and it is so cool. It's really laid back there. There's hardly any waves at Sullivan's Island because it's at the mouth of the harbor. but it's just beautiful, laid back, wide beach. And oh my goodness, you can sit there at sunset and you can look back over the mouth of the harbor and watch the sunset over Charleston. It's so pretty. Big container ships and Carnival cruise ships go so close to the beach at Sullivan's Island, you can ride their wake and even smell the diesel. That's how close they get to the shore. Beautiful. If you like ships, man, that is the place to go to the beach and see the big ships coming in and out of Charleston. And right at the mouth of the harbor, man, I have swam in between Sullivan's Island where Fort Moultrie is. And Fort Moultrie, President Washington, General Washington, he visited there during the Revolution. And Edgar Allan Poe is served at Fort Moultrie, and Poe's Tavern in Sullivan's Island is the best place to hang out and the best place to eat, named for Edgar Allan Poe. And but anyway, yeah, I have swam right between Sullivan's Island and Fort Sumter. Now, something to remember about Sullivan's Island: there is dangerous currents, because when the tide's going out and the Cooper River's going out to sea, the tide's going out, right? So you can go out with it. When it's coming in, you can get swept into the harbor. One time, I was swimming there at Sullivan's Island, and I'm floating along, and guess what happened? I'm like, man, the lighthouse just went by real fast. And I quit swimming, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a lazy river. And I rode it and rode it and rode it till I got to a big sign. It's like, no swimming past this point, $500 fine, because so many people have drowned in the harbor there because of the currents. So I got out, and while I was floating down there, the tide was coming in. Well, guess what? I had to run 2 miles back to my stuff, and I got there just before the ocean got it. So anyway, yeah, Charleston has so much history, so beautiful. Sullivan's Island, Folly Beach, Charleston, go check it out. It's warm down there year round, and even if you go during the wintertime, the water's too cold to be in at that time. But Charleston, there's always stuff to do, and Charleston has one of the best nightlifes of anywhere I've been, except for maybe Vegas. All right. Fourth is San Diego and its beaches. San Diego is just beautiful. Where else? It's the only place where I've been where I stood on a mountaintop, Mount Soledad, by this big memorial cross that the ACLU is always trying to take down because they don't understand the Establishment Clause, or they do, but they just don't like it. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, I'm up there on Mount Soledad, and it's the first time in my life, been an East Coast boy, that I'm standing on a mountain looking down at the ocean, looking down at the beach. The pier looks tiny. I'm looking down on San Diego. There's a lake over here I'm looking down on, and I'm just, being from the East Coast, you don't look down on the beach and the ocean unless you're in a high-rise hotel. It's so cool at San Diego because you have mountains and the beach in the same place. You have cliffs at the beach. There at Sunset Cliffs Park, man, there's these big horseshoe cliffs. Now, you got to be careful there because, sadly, this lady was celebrating beating breast cancer, and her and 3 friends just got killed this last week by the earth falling on them at a beach in San Diego. So, you got to be careful. They've got, don't go past the police tape where it says unstable cliffs, because it really is, there's not a lot of rock out there. It's just dirt. But anyway, there's these arches at Sunset Cliffs, those big arches where the ocean goes through them. You can see all that at Sunset Cliffs, and it's just amazing. And I got to see the big orange fireball of the sun setting in the Pacific Ocean. And Pacific Beach is the beach I went the most when I was in San Diego, because it was close to where I was staying. And oh man, it's so cool. You can drive over a hill and it's like, wow, there's the ocean down there, And so Pacific Beach, PB, and then you got Ocean Beach, OB. Pacific Beach is really cool, lots of surfing. There's about, 20-foot cliff that drops off before you go down there, and people build their houses right on the cliff. It's real pretty. And Ocean Beach is cool. Didn't get to Imperial Beach down by the border, and I'm assuming that's probably the one that has the most pollution, so I'm kind of glad I didn't get in there. The surf out there is really no more than the East Coast. And the water's cold. That's the difference. It was high 60s, low 70s. The water was when I was in San Diego, because the current comes down from Alaska, so it's cold instead of coming north from the south like our Gulf Stream does, which makes our water hot in the summer. But anyway, the weather is perfect in San Diego year round, y'all. It's like 70s to low 80s and no humidity, no flipping mosquitoes. San Diego, from where I live, it's a 5 hours to either coast. 5 hours driving to the East Coast, or you hop on a jet and you're in San Diego in 5 hours. And lady dog, you just farted. I smell it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up and then do another one, okay?